Fuck it. Let's do this. Probably the most ridiculous thumbnail ever. We're going to get started in a minute. I'm going to act like this is a recorded video, not a live video, just for people coming here for updates. I figure I had to record a video anyway. And I am exhausted. So let's do the video and a live stream all at the same time. Although I never do live streams randomly, or at least I haven't done any. So I don't think many people will pile in. Anyhow, Doomsday Kingdom, I want to get right to that. Doomsday Kingdom was supposed to release issue 2 today. We're just straight up behind on art. It should be out tomorrow or the next day, but that's it. It is a shame, though, and I got to say, James, he thought he would be able to have what he needed to have completed in time. There was some delays. He couldn't get it done in time, but he was definitely trying. He was working on the artwork for hours and hours and hours, staying up. He didn't even go to bed till his time, till like 5 o'clock, because we were still trying to get up the comic, and there was some other panels that I guess he had additional. I forget what it's called. My brain is fried, but it had additional art that would help some of the art pop, and that wasn't in the comic either. So anyway, Doomsday Kingdom issue 3, you don't want to hear the technical stuff. It is essentially delayed for a day or two. I don't think it'll be... The good thing with Doomsday Kingdom, though, and then we're going to move into some Walking Dead stuff, because I figured I was working on the comic all day today, doing the lettering and then all the other stuff for the special stuff coming at the end of the issue, but I figured, or me and James were talking about how we can correct... Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me pop out the chat. I want to see what you guys are saying. I didn't get any videos done, so there's a couple little headlines, and I don't think any of them are really important enough to make a video by themselves, but together there's a good information. Yeah, it was frustrating that we couldn't get the comic out today. I really wanted it out today. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to have any of the art suffer, especially. There was some things I was telling them, some things were missing, and I said, and again, they're like really small things that just need to be tweaked. I said, well, we can release the digital, anyone who wants to read it now, and then we'll give them an updated digital file after we make any corrections. Because the good way, how we're doing it is, we'll put out the digital first, and then let's say we miss a spelling error, or there's a little bit of art that needs fine-tuned, or it could have been any number of things. In issue number 2, there was actually one line of dialogue that had some toning effect on it for whatever reason. I guess I bumped a button when I was doing the lettering. We actually were able to correct that. So the first 10 people who got it have you can't even tell. It's just squiggly lines on the dialogue, but you got to look in close. It's tiny stuff like that. But the good thing is we release it digital, and then we go back and we fix everything as best we can for the physical prints. That way when you get your physical copies, all the errors are taken out of there. And one good thing that we figured out, we want issue 3 to release faster. So we're going to do this new thing where when we release issue 3 digitally and then open the pre-orders, and this is the only good news to come out of this, while figuring everything out, we're going to open the pre-orders, and instead of leaving the pre-order open for a month or 2 months and then closing them and shipping out the comics at once, we're going to open up the pre-orders. We're going to take the initial handful that come in for the pre-order, and we're going to do it in waves. So that way we'll see what comes in. We're going to do a guesstimate to how much we're going to buy extra. Let's say the first week of pre-orders, we have 300 people want comics, or 400 copies of issue 3. We'll order 800, and then we'll leave the pre-orders open for 2 months. But in the meantime, we're shipping out within 2 weeks. as long as we get the samples to the printer and they give it back to us in our timeline. So that way, instead of the pre-order being open for 2 months and then shipping everyone's at once, we're going to do the behind the scenes in waves, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But all you would know is anyone who puts the pre-orders in from, let's say, order number 1690 to 1790, you're getting shipped in the first wave, which means you guys will get yours shipped in the first 2 weeks after making the pre-order. And I think that is tremendous. If we can get that to work, some people were waiting a long time. Imagine having to just put the order in for issue 3. Maybe you want to say screw it, buy issues 1, 2, and 3. Imagine having that shipped out in just 2 weeks. I think that's awesome. And again, keep in mind, this isn't like you're buying a product. We still have to get the issue made. So 2 week is a pre-order. So I think it's cool. And I think that will be absolutely awesome. I will say, I think you guys are going to love issue 3. I really do. I really do. Because the cool thing about it is issue 1 comes off as odd for what it is. It's possibly, for all you guys know, there's some old twisted crazy shit, but for issue 1, there's just so much I want to talk about. I can't though, because I connect it. Matter of fact, I'll talk about this one little moment. Sorry. As a writer, I forgot to drink my iced tea. As a writer, I'm trying to write some stuff, only small nuggets that are so subtle no one should notice them. I was just looking at it today. Spoiler alert for Doomsday Kingdom issue 2 or 3. I'm sorry, issue 2. But there's something that happens in issue 2 with the main character where he's putting his daughter to bed, and this is after they went to see the fireworks. And he kneels down and there's no dialogue and it's purposefully done. That one page. You just see a father put a kid to bed and it's like, why is this in the comic? Why is this in issue number 2? Well, you see the father put the kid to bed. He kisses his daughter. He gets up. And then you see him kind of hitting the light switch, but he's hovering at the door. And this is why I wanted to practice certain different types of writing. But you don't know it. There's no dialogue. There's no hints. Nothing tells you. But that character in that moment of time was like, I wanted to say I love you. But he didn't say I love you because she was falling asleep after the fireworks and he was being all quiet, lays her to bed. But then when he got to the doorway, he was like, well, I wanted to say I love you, And then later on, there is something that happens in issue number 3 that calls back to that, where he does say I love you. But those who have read issue 2, it's just not going to be the same. You know what I mean? If you look at those, and I even wrote it in the script for James to draw it identical, so that way no one should pick up on this, but it's a way to test super subtle writing. That way people can pick it apart if they want to, as crazy as they want to. I'm doing good tonight. I'm tired as hell. I'm gonna do a live stream. Let's chit chat for 30 minutes, and I'm going to bed. James is dead right now. He was working so much, he's dead. Yeah, I think Kirkman's definitely going to bring Negan back. But yeah, I just can't wait till issue number 3. There's so much that goes on. There's an Easter egg to the very first, and it's a big Easter egg. There's an Easter egg to the very first draft of Doomsday Kingdom back when it was called Hell's Judgment or something shit like that. One of the old titles, like 11 years ago, maybe longer. And the Easter egg is just so like boom, it's in the story and it's brutal, but it's just out of nowhere and it's dun-dun-dun-dun. We'll talk about it later, but there's so many different things that happen, and watching the coloring get put together, I'm just super excited for it, because if you've read issue 2, it was pretty much a slow burn. Issue 3 picks up a little bit, and I'm really trying to keep it where you get those moments. You literally get a moment where you're like, oh shit. I have this one character that says something that I love, though. Sometimes when you're writing dialogue, you'll hit something that just, you're like, I love that. I so love that. I think the one character says, you can either give me your attention or you could give me your lives. As soon as I thought of that, I was like, oh, I love it. I love it. This guy's a badass. Anyway, but yeah, I love that line. I don't think I remember hearing that line, and it's so simple. It's probably in like 50 movies. I probably just don't even remember it. But yeah, he's like, you can give me your attention or you can give me your lives. I love that shit. But anyway, we're gonna talk about some Walking Dead stuff, I guess, here in a second. But yeah, listen. Hopefully we get it all done, and the comic will be out tomorrow, at least digital, and then we'll get the pre-order started, and we'll make sure we have everything that we need, so that way, like I said, when you start putting in your pre-order, when you start putting the pre-orders in, you're only waiting 2 weeks before we're starting to ship out, and we'll do it in waves behind the scenes, so that way. It'll make it a lot quicker because we really want to move in and get issues 4 and 5 done, which is going to be really hard, but we want volume 1 done by the end of this year. We released issue 1 a year ago, and it's just when you're trying to work full time, the artist has a full-time job and he's also working a lot of overtime and then doing the comic. When you're doing all that, it's hard to get it out on a monthly basis. It's just impossible. You're not doing it, you know? Even doing the lettering, even proofreading. Like, I was doing lettering and proofreading for 2 days straight. 2 days straight. I put my daughter in school, and then I'm here, and she even came in the room. She was hanging out with me and stuff, but for hours and hours and hours, I'm just doing lettering and proofreading, because a lot of it is time-consuming. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with the comics. If we want to have it out monthly, you need to work on just the comics, just that comic. So you could do other stuff too. Absolutely. As a writer, if I was only working on the comic and the YouTube channel, I would be able to at least have 2 or 3 comics going at the same time, because I'm writing more stories and stuff, getting other stuff prepared at the same time, working on it. But the art and some of those other things, definitely time consuming. Like, if we went with the comic full time, I would definitely just hire a letterer and then get another story out there at the same time. Do I have an end story for Doomsday Kingdom? Absolutely. It has a beginning and an end, definitely. Anyway, let me go back and read some of these. You know what? Maybe I'll get the questions. I did want to pull some of this up. Okay, so yeah, the Doomsday Kingdom, it's delayed. You guys know that update. You guys don't care about the details, right? It's just simply we didn't have enough time to get all the stuff done we needed. Hold on. We got a $5 donation helping the channel out from Zachariah Rush. Thank you very much for the support, brother. It's all good, brother. When you guys inevitably get as big as The Walking Dead, these early self-published issues are going to be super rare. I appreciate that. Listen, thank you very much for having faith in it getting as big as The Walking Dead. I don't know if we're going to have something as big as The Walking Dead, simply because the genre itself changed with The Walking Dead. The genre was waiting for that piece to take itself seriously. So from here on out, we're seeing more and more serious, more dramatic, more emotional stories. And the zombie stories, the zombie genre, it's being taken far more seriously now than it ever was. And I think that was one of the huge appeals with The Walking Dead when we first watched it, because it just sucked us in on that serious note, made us feel things, our emotions, and yada yada yada. It was just fantastic. Having that hit, we can definitely have stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I wouldn't write Doomsday Kingdom if I didn't feel like it was successful. And I still feel like, not to be cocky, but I still feel like if we put it on, if you took my script and put it on HBO, I think it could be really good. Could it be the next Walking Dead or Game of Thrones? I don't know. But I do think I could get people watching it long enough to hit 5 seasons. I guarantee you that. It might be a little trickier with a comic, just because you can only put just a nugget of story in 22 pages. Some modern comics, they go a little too fast. You see what they're going for, and some of them just go way too fast, and it's kind of jarring. So I'm really hoping we can do the slow burn, slow it down a little bit. And what I mean by that isn't have a talking heads all the time, but not having somebody go from this distance to this distance in 2 panels, especially if they're like on foot, like coming up in issue 4, you see Katie and Tristan, the 2 main characters we're following right now, and they got to go somewhere, and you're going to see the landscapes, you're going to see different things, and there's some crazy shit popping off. But I'm not just having them get to their location because it's a comic book and I want to move the story along. Instead of rushing that process, I'm adding story that I think helps the chaotic nature of the breakdown of society in the middle of that. So anyway, listen, let's pull up a couple headlines and then I'll go into more of the comments in the comment box. I should probably move this, huh? Oh, what did I screw up? Yeah, I am tired, so it's probably going to be a terrible live stream tonight. It was a impulsive. I want to talk with you guys. I was like exhausted, frustrated. I wanted to comic out. I wanted to rest easy and wake up and hear what you guys had to say. But hopefully tomorrow, you guys can tell me what you think about it. Telltale pulls The Walking Dead's final season from sale. I know a lot of my friends are trying to stay positive with the Telltale thing. I get a little negative when I look at Telltale. Keep in mind, I do feel bad, obviously, for people losing their jobs, but I kind of see it as the board of directors and the suits and the people who they're going to be good regardless, and they're there just to make money. That's how I see it. I don't have a personal connection, so if people know these people and yada yada, that's why I come off as a little bit rough, because I don't trust them and I don't believe that they're doing it for the benefit of the fans or whatever. They came out and said that they're going to do whatever they can and try to find people to help finance the rest of Telltale's The Walking Dead's 4th season, which is 2 more episodes, I believe, 2 or 3. And then the next day, they pulled it from sales. You know what I mean? They sold episode 2. They left it online. They left it in stores for episode 2. And then once episode 2 came out, and maybe they saw that people were not buying it, they finally said, okay, we'll pull it off shelves. And they left it up there on purpose because they wanted to see, or at least they were hoping they would get more sales from that. Anyway, and I'm sure they probably got a handful, but them pulling it, in my opinion, I kind of feel like it leans more towards we're not getting anything out of that. And we still could. I mean, I can't imagine there's not some wiggle room for another company to come in and work something out. Or and here's the thing is, a lot of people were saying buy the rights off of Telltale, and this is the part where I don't know if that's possible, because keep in mind, Telltale doesn't own their properties. They license them. You know what I'm saying? They don't own The Walking Dead. They don't own Game of Thrones. They don't own anybody. Batman. Who do? They don't own any of those intellectual properties, the IPs. So since they don't own them, they can't sell them to someone else to get it made. Could they sell the license? Maybe. I'll be honest. I don't know how that works. Wouldn't Skybound have a say? Like, I couldn't buy the license off of Skybound and then turn around and sell it to Joe Schmo, because that affects the overall brand. So I don't think it works like that. But then again, I don't really know. I don't know what it is, man, but I love iced tea. I'm gonna love it. So I don't have any confidence whatsoever in Telltale's The Walking Dead finishing this season, but I do want to see it come out. Greg Nicotero, told an insider he will direct Lincoln's final episode of the show this fall. The only other episode Nicotero directed for the first half of the season 9 is its... I butchered that. Was anyone else following along? Nicotero directed for this first half of season 9 is its... Wait, hold on. I didn't read that wrong. They wrote that like they're drunk and high. The only other episode Nicotero directed for this first half of season 9 is its 5th episode. See, that's where you want to put in your... oh, they put it in after. What comes after? Okay. Whoever wrote this article, bro, you should have put... What is the only other episode directed for? Right here. You should have put one of these guys... Put that right there. And then for the first half of season 9, and then put it right there again, is its 5th episode. What comes after? So expect 5 more episodes of Rick Grimes. That hit me right in the gut. I thought we were getting 6. I always thought it was weird we were getting 6 of Maggie and Rick. And it appears, even though, guys, there's 6 everywhere, right? Which is starting to... It leads me to believe... and I'm going to make a separate video on this. I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle, but if they're doing 6 episodes, or maybe they're not, but they said they were at first, if they're doing 6 episodes and now they're confirming 100%, it's only 5 because Nicotero is directing that episode. Andrew Lincoln's coming back now to shadow a director so he can direct in season 10. What if that's partially true? What if he's also here filming his last episode, his 6th episode in season 9, and it's some type of hallucination flashback? It most likely will be a flashback. Like, remember Sasha with Abraham? I'm feeling like they're going to do that with Rick. And maybe Michonne or Daryl at the end of this season. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Matter of fact, I forgot to write that down. I was so busy today. I wanted to make that video. I'm only going to do a short one later on. Rick 6 eps. Later on tomorrow, just to see what conversation is like about it. But it says what fans can expect. It's a magnificent episode. I don't want to get into too much because I don't want to really ruin anything. Nicotero teased always. It's the storytelling aspect of it, and his journey really touches upon some of the highlights of the show over the past 8 years. It was a delight to craft the episode, so it's a really unique situation, and we had a great time making it. Even though it was sad, I think all of us were sort of in a little bit of shock. The direction that the show has gone in the remaining episodes of season 9 have got some fantastic actors. I love all of them. They're unique, they're interesting, they're thought-provoking. While Nicotero and AMC have been trying to keep the details of Rick's final episodes under wrap, reports from Entertainment Weekly, yada yada yada, confirmed former The Walking Dead star John Bernthal, who played Rick's friend. Okay, so he's just confirming that. It's been a very unique transition for a show that was so grounded with Rick's character. Nicotero told us the legacy that... I give up. You guys want to read that article, read that article. I'm way too tired to read that shit. But the truth of the matter is, The Walking Dead really was grounded by a lot of fantastic actors. And then he goes on to talk about some other stuff. He does talk about being in denial. And that is a little funny. Because he feels not funny like, ha ha, Greg Nicotero, but funny because he's right there with us, man. He's like, that hurts. He's in denial. I should probably check the feed. I promise I'm going to get to the feed. I saw someone in the chat say recast Rick Grimes, and I almost literally drove to your house and attacked you. Let me go. Fear the Walking Dead finale will not end in a cliffhanger. What is this all about? The Walking Dead hasn't... Yeah, I'm not reading all that. I would say the end of Season 4 is not going to be a cliffhanger in the traditional sense where we don't know who's going to make it, who's not going to make it, says the showrunner. But it is going to tease where the show and where these characters go in a really big way. They're already setting up the trip to Alexandria. You are already teasing that in a really big way. Don't start like, you're already the cat's out of the bag, homie. Should have saved that conversation for the next episode. I think we can say that we designed the finale to sort of set up where we're going in Season 5. I hope it's going to be on the road to the original show, but they don't quite get there. Let's watch them on the road. I hope that's what they do. But we can also promise that there will be a lot of surprise in store. By the time you get to the end of the finale, the next step in these characters' journeys and evolutions, we're going to start to see a bit of the roadmap for that. On if the gang will ever actually make it to Alexandria. I would say keep watching for our finale, says Goldberg, because the journey to Alexandria, that's something we've been building toward. Or towards. That's what Morgan has been collecting. That's why Morgan has been collecting. You know what? Sometimes it is the damn article. Look at. That's what Morgan has been collecting everyone and finding everyone. When you read that, wouldn't it screw you up too? In the back half of the season is for. You just say that's why Morgan has been collecting everyone and finding everyone in the back half of this season. It's all been leading to this trip they're going to make together, and we're just going to have to see how that goes on Sunday. Yeah, you guys can read that article. It's just basically no cliff. I think we're basically getting the cliffhanger of, are they going to Alexandria, or will they be in Alexandria next season, you know? Oh my God, I don't know what that was, but that hurt my ears. I think that's what they're doing. Here's another article that says, I'll say first of all that we have still planned some more story with Maggie. Okay, this is the Maggie one. Lauren wants to. It will be a little subject to her schedule, but hopefully we have her back next season, Kang said. We have always planned to have this great story with Maggie this season, and I think we promised something. We wanted to pay off that promise. We definitely have a very strong Maggie arc. So this is probably not even news, because we kind of know they're leaving her open-ended, and she's probably going to come back no matter what. They're losing Rick. They don't want to lose Maggie for sure, or for definite, because of the ratings. You don't want to take that risk. So bringing back Maggie, it's frustrating in a whole different way. It's like, well, why'd you even leave? You know, why'd you even let her leave? Why'd you even argue about money? How did all this even pop off? You know, it's like, come on, man. So, yeah. Just like AMC tried to sabotage their own show that they wanted to be successful in season 2. And just like, what else did they do? They did a couple things that were just counterproductive. Remember? They do some silly shit. Now they got this. Essentially, Maggie's leaving to go in this open-ended storyline just simply because she was fighting with AMC. Whatever. I just want to show you guys the graphs for Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, because I've seen a lot of people saying that it's dead and done or whatever. The Walking Dead, just looking at it compared to Fear the Walking Dead, this is Fear the Walking Dead right here. See this little graph? Now, here's The Walking Dead. Look at that. It's a monster. Even when it's in its downward spiral, man. Look at it. It's still a champ. Wow, that's creepy. These kind of look a little similar, don't they? A tad bit. And you can tell because their spikes are the premieres. All those spikes are just premieres and finales. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead started off hot. And then it's just constantly fallen. And it had a spike when Morgan came over. For season 4, they really did have a good spike. And I think that in large part is due to their trailer was off the hook. But this is something I want to show, because a lot of people talk about Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead as being like almost dead. Could they be hurting compared to how they were? Sure. But if you look at this chart, it's usually within 2 seasons. This is your fan base. Now what happens is, see how these numbers fall right here? Let me take this down. See how these numbers fall? That doesn't mean that's how many fans are still watching the show. It kind of does. For the ratings, that does quite literally mean what I just said it didn't mean. But hear me out in a second. This is the people who are watching it in the first, let's say, week. I think this one is live plus 7. When it premieres, and then the rest of the week. They count up all those numbers. This might even just be live, but it doesn't matter. My point is, you still have this many fans. You still have this many viewers. See this when Negan killed Glenn and Abraham? You have that many that will watch if the story is hot, you know? Now, you might not get all of them to watch, because it's not a matter of them not watching. It's a matter of when they watch. See, all these people here and all these people here, the reason why it's going up and down is because they're just not watching right away. It's not their top priority. And I think that's where AMC needs to change things up in a big way. You didn't lose these fans, not all of them. Not all together. You see it in the comments. If you did a story that was good enough, you can bring some of these fans back. It's not about bringing fans back, I should say. It's about making the show priority again for the fans. It's about making the story so exciting and so enjoyable, so interesting, that they're not going to wait 2 weeks. They're not going to wait till the end of the season to binge watch it. And I think that's where AMC royally fucks up. Whoever's calling the shots behind the scenes or putting things together. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It's like talking to a wall with them. I honestly don't even know how some of these people get in the jobs they have. Anyway, let's pop up the chat. I'm done reading some news stories. I want to see what you guys have to say. But you know, you guys feel me on that. It's just pretty much... Where's the chat? It's just pretty much... You need to get the story, and it needs to be gripping. That way these people feel like it's priority. They watch it the first night it's on. They watch it the first 3 days, or within the first 3 days. And the reason, some people might ask, well, what is the point? The point is, then you can charge a premium for your ads. Your ads are running throughout the episode. If you're not getting a lot of viewers, your ads are going to be cheap. If you're getting 17 million people watching, you're going to have a lot of people fighting for those ads because it means there's more eyes on it, as opposed to a show that gets like 100,000 people. You know what I mean? Sorry. I had to beast that iced tea. I gotta shave my beard. It's at that point where iced tea kind of lingers around on my beard after I drink it. What is it? What is that shit? It's like I'm not saving you for later. What are you doing in there? Get out of there. So once we get Doomsday Kingdom caught up with, I'm gonna upload. I got for anyone interested in the video game stuff, I got Spider-Man. I got a couple more hours recorded. I just got to edit it together. And I got to, I think, finish the edit on the second hour of The Last of Us. So I got 2 more hours of that coming. I think it's like part 16 and part 17, or 15 and 16. And then I just found this at, this is Nostalgia City. I got it to try to get Juliet to play. But she doesn't want to hear anything. I was going to wait till this dropped on sale, but somebody at GameStop, and I never go to GameStop, somebody put the wrong sticker on it, so I got it for next to nothing. And I took it to the counter, and I was like, why is this game so cheap? I looked it up on Amazon, and it was like $30, and that was on sale at Amazon, and I'm like, this is a lot less than that. I take it to the counter, and the dude was like, oh shit, bro, somebody put the wrong tag on this. But it wasn't like a little kid stuck the different tag on it. Whoever rang it up put the tag on by mistake, and even put the name on it. Not only that, it's GameStop, and he actually gave me one of the new wrapped ones. I was like, okay, that's what's up. Exactly 1 month till Red Dead Redemption 2. Listen, I'm playing that. I'm playing the shit out of that. I already know. I'm gonna play the hell out of that. The gaming ones are tricky though. I might try to set up something. I don't know, not to be like that dude, but I might try to set up something. You guys give me some ideas. What would be something cool? Because I do want to incentivize something. By then we'll have the Streamlabs up, but I do want to do some type of boost, not just for donations, but for donations and also to get the word of mouth out there. But I want to do something when the games come. And the only reason I say donations is because I'd be happy with just putting it up there and collecting the revenue off the thing. But for some reason, all my gaming videos keep getting hit. You know, it's like someone comes out of the woodwork and they're like, the game used my song for 0.7 of a second, so I get to claim your whole 2-hour gaming video. It's like, whoa, wait, hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why when you watch my videos, if you'll notice a part that has like a weird song for like a few seconds. Sometimes it'll just be like a bleep or a blurb. It's because someone literally claimed it for a fraction of a second. A fraction of a second. The song comes on and it's like, da-na-na, Spider-Man jumps, and they claimed it. I'm like, what? Anyway. I promised I'd go into the questions, so let's dive into some questions. Random questions, and if you guys want to ask new ones, ask them now. I'm going to go straight through to what I missed and just pick random ones and go right to the bottom. You know what I should do? I should make sure I didn't miss any super chats, just so I'm not being a jerk. Interval and AIC Comics, $5 super chat. Thanks for this comic series. Is that sarcasm? Trust me, it'll be worth it when you see. Thank you very much for the donation. It helps the channel out a lot. But if you guys see the art in the comic tomorrow or on Friday when it comes out, you'll know why we wanted to make sure we had it before we put it out, because some of that art, especially the coloring, man, the coloring just makes it. Sometimes I'm thinking like, what? Why doesn't The Walking Dead just say screw it and do it in color? Because some of those colored panels, it's just, oh my god. Oh, another thing. You guys know that the Doomsday Kingdom was supposed to have, the comic would be the main storyline. So if you want to follow that, that's cool. But it branches off into characters in here. You could do like the video game, and it would branch everything. It would branch a novel series, a video game, which is a stupid idea now that I think about it. Back 15 years ago, that was like a revolutionary idea. Whatever. I'm tired. It was just like, I was stoned out of my mind, and I thought it was the most genius thing ever. Now that I'm thinking about it, every franchise does it, and we have a big zombie franchise that does it with The Walking Dead. They got everything that I was thinking down there, but it doesn't matter. I still got to go through with some of it because that's how the comic story is set up. But for those who read it, this part right here, I'm going to have a cover that is this right here. That'll be the cover, and I'm going to try to get it made, and it's going to be a short story of that guy's background, that guy's story, that cop's story. And I told someone, I think I told people online, you know how his story ends, but the thing is watching him get there. And I think I did talk a little bit about like what he's seen, and when you see it in as the whole story unfolds, it's like, oh, that's rough. Some of it's just downright disgusting, but it's cool to do that, just to have a little short story to come out that connects with what you already read in issue 2 while you're waiting for issues 4 and 5. So when we do those issues together, I could release this short story. Or at least that's what I'm hoping, if people are interested. If they're not, maybe we'll wait a little longer until we get a little more interest, or maybe pick a different character or something. So now Kyle Volkman with a $5 donation. What are your thoughts on Rick coming back to direct? I actually just gave my thoughts on that. I think Rick coming back to direct is cool that he gets that opportunity as an actor, but I'm starting to think that it's also a ploy, and he's going to be doing some sort of scene, whether it's a flashback or a scene that happened. Yeah, that would be a flashback. What am I talking about? Because Abraham and hallucination or flashback. I think he's coming to film a little scene, because it's just weird they would say 6 episodes, but then it's only 5, you know? I don't know how I feel about Walking Dead this year, man. Going in with only 5 episodes of Rick Grimes. It's not even like the whole season. Oh, God. It's like you tore my heart out, bro. What are you doing? Fuck out of here. Somebody said ratings would go through the roof if they showed Maggie open-ended. Someone liked quick notes. Oh, maybe I should update that. I'll update that after this. That's gonna be rough. I hated having to delay the comic just one more day. But then tomorrow is almost here, so plus the artist is doing, like, we're just waiting for his art. I don't think I have anything I need to finish. I might have something for the printed version. Because I did the feeding post letter column, and I might have some more to put on to add an additional page, or maybe some behind the scenes stuff I'll put together for the printed version. But I don't think the digital needs anything from me left over. The Walking Dead and Doomsday are the best franchises. The Walking Dead will never die. So many people are still invested. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. No, I don't think The Walking Dead will ever die. I think the main show is going to lose its crown. But I've said it, years now. The Walking Dead as a franchise, is the zombie version of Star Wars right now. It's going to go on. They're going to reboot it. They're going to bring in new people. We've already seen it. Look at Fear the Walking Dead. That's a whole new show. The Last Outlaw, the show. Act. What kind of craziness is that? Anyway, AMC has only canceled one series in the last 10 years, and that was Rubicon, which gives me hope for Preacher coming back for a fourth season. Fear the Walking Dead could run another 5 seasons. It could, even though it's not doing anywhere near the main show. It's still a cash cow for them. Maybe not a fat cash cow, but... Yeah, apparently the stream crashed for like 30 seconds. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, nostalgia, man. Crash Bandicoot. I remember playing this shit on it's got to be the PlayStation 1, I think. Oh man, that was cool shit. That was a cool game. Crash, Abe's Odd World. There was some cool ones. And I got that one too. We're going to do it. And see, that's the thing. That's why when I kickstarted the new Map Gaming, I wanted to just be like, I'm doing whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm doing anything because I just wanted to sit down one day and play Abe's Odd World without having to worry about finishing the game. I just wanted to be like, yo, guys, I played this shit when I was little. I just bought the digital version because the company, Limited Run Games or whatever, the shithead that makes... I don't know why in the world you would limit the amount of money you make, but here's the gimmick of that company. They'll take something that's like a remaster that's not big enough to get a wide distribution, so they'll get the license, they'll distribute it, right? They'll get a distribution license, they'll distribute it, but it'll be limited to like 1,000 copies, and you get everyone on the website. When I went on for Abe's Odd World, and I was new to the Limited Run Games or whatever it's called, that shit website, and I was like, man, okay, Monday, 4 p.m., I'm there. I hit buy. Shit, why do I keep doing that? I hit buy, and that motherfucker was buy, though. That was a lame-ass joke. But, yo, that bitch was gone in no time. We're talking about a video game stock was gone within a second. And then you see people with listings on eBay, 20 copies, 30 copies, like, holy motherfuck, yo, Limited Run Games, you're stupid as fuck. Why would you limit your sales and shit? I could have bought another one right then and there. These idiots buying 50 copies, they're the ones holding they're the ones, what's the saying? They're the ones holding their dick in the hand. I forget the saying. You know what I'm saying? Because you sold out. Just make another 1,000. It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. That's the end of my ranting. I forget what happened with that. I want to feel like something happened with that. Maybe it was a pre-order of that. I don't know. What do you think the writers will do for Season 5 storyline in Fear? Well, there's no turning back now from... I say that, but they could do something stupid. But there's no turning back. They have to go to Alexandria unless they come up with some stupid reason to veer them off course. I think the best thing is to show them going to Alexandria, but having them get sidetracked along the way. I think that's the best thing for it, because there's no stupid reason that keeps them from going where we want them to go. You know what I'm saying? And we get to still watch them try to fight to get there. We don't need Morgan Russian anymore. Rick is gone. We're about to watch his last episodes, and he just didn't make it. Unless he does, and they were able to hide it good. Ronnie, how would you like Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead to end? Yo, at this point, and here's the shittiest thing, I don't give a damn how it ends. I just don't care. I want them to kill that annoying villain. How about that? How's that for starters? But I just don't care. Like, here, end it. Yeah, they just killed the villain, and they say, let's go to Alexandria, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so done, I think, with Season 4. The last half just, I don't know, man. It killed some of my oomph. I'm just ready to push it aside and get over to The Walking Dead again. But I do understand that there's a lot of people who like Fear the Walking Dead. in the fan base. So if you like it, you like it. It's not doing anything for me. Watching you play Red Dead is gonna be a blast. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I might get a bottle of whiskey for that. Because I don't know why. The Wild West, they drink a lot. Well, I call for a show's end when it is still popular and people still love it. Click off and end it for you if that's how you truly feel. I don't know what conversation you guys are having, but apparently it's about one of the shows ending. Can't you do Twitch too? Yeah, I could probably get a Twitch up and running. I honestly just never... Listen, I'll be honest with you. I tread lightly because I'm one of those people who... It's weird. Like, I don't have, like, a label. Like, a lot of people are like, I am, SJW. I am anti-SJW. I am left. I am right. I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. A lot of people are easy with labels. Like, I can't fit in any of those labels because I just simply like what I like. And I don't fully agree 100% with. And a lot of times it's if you're one thing or the other, you agree with almost all of it, And what I'm getting at is I didn't want to go into Twitch because as much as I do love a portion of the gaming community, it's toxic as fuck. Like, gamers are fucking lame. And again, I say that as somebody who I don't even want to call myself a gamer because they're just toxic. And I'm not talking about breaking balls and da-da-da. I'm not talking about that. So there's like a 30%, let's say, chunk of people who are just normal, who like games, and even games or nerdy gamers, whatever. There's a good 30% chunk that are just cool, and that's who I want to attract. Everyone else, that's why I'm in no rush to jump to Twitch or build anything as far as gaming wise. That's real big, because I think there's a massive chunk of that fan base that's just toxic as fuck, and I don't want no part of that. Give me the good chunk of it and leave the rest to the side. Man, I was disappointed in Hereditary. I think it might have been overhyped. I'll rewatch it when... Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Listen, here's the thing, though. Up until the end, I absolutely loved it. Up until the end, at that point, I was like, oh, all right, whatever. Because there's nothing you're going to do that's going to match what you gave me. You know what I'm saying? As far as... And I don't want to spoil it for anyone watching, but... Like, supernatural shit happens... And you have to explain it. And there's no way, for me personally, you're going to explain that to my liking. Because I don't like ghosts. In ghost stories, it never works. And how they ended it, it's a bit different. But I was still just like, you know what? I don't even care. Because I enjoyed everything right up until that ending. And I'm take it or leave it at the ending. Because I really don't care. I just, as long as it did some creepy shit and it was entertaining and it was magnetic. I was glued the whole time. It was just up until that ending where I was like, whatever, I could have shut it off before that and just left myself wondering, and I probably would have had more fun. What do you mean, Dill? You're the one who said 2, not me. So more points, choo-choo. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you guys are talking. I get it now. There's a 50-50 chance you'll get kicked off at Twitch unless you have boobs. If I don't start working out, I'll fit right in. I might have some boobs if I don't start jogging and working out again. I keep teasing, but for real, I need to start working out again. I do miss that. What else we got? Yeah, there's some stupid shit on Twitch. Like, I don't know. It's just some stupid shit. It's just so dumb. I see the news feeds popping up of just the dumbest. I don't even, my brain doesn't even know how to process it either. Like, there's some chicks who they're not even 10s. Like, they might be a 7 or like a nice 7, like a maybe low 8 with like some makeup. But then when you wake up next to her, it's like, wow, that's not who I met at the bar. You ever meet that kind of chick? I've had a couple of those. It's like, anyway, it's like, you're like a 7, And you can watch dimes do anything for free right now in like a click, in like a moment's notice, like right now. I'm assuming the majority of those sites are still up and running. Or like, I just don't understand it. I don't get what the attraction is to someone who's just teasing a little bit or just acting like a fool. I don't get, even when I was younger, and it's not just because I'm older. Even when I was younger, if I was 15, I would have found that stupid. You know what I mean? I don't know. My mentality's just, my brain never worked that way. Like, I'll be damned whether I'm 15 or 50. I'm not gonna watch a girl in underwear playing a video game. Like, that does nothing for me satisfaction wise. Like, I don't know why anyone watches that. If you're looking at for sexual pleasure, or it's not their character, they don't say shit. You know, I don't know. Friday the 13th game is free in October for PS5. I already got Friday the 13th. I heard they're bringing on a new crew to help with maintenance. So our plan. Listen, guys, I want to talk about something right now, and I want to do a video, just a quick, like, pitch video. You guys let me know if I should just pitch it, and I'm going to do a test pitch right now. Should I pitch it or should I add some images? And I want to pitch my idea for a new Predator movie, but just the intro. I'll keep this short and sweet. Picture this. I want to start this off, and I want to use the original Jungle Hunter Predator. This guy. Not the new guy in the movies, but the original Jungle Hunter Predator. The one we all know and love. He's got the trophies. He doesn't... And here's the thing. He is going to be from a tribe that is old school, just like the original Predator. They don't use genetics. None of this spine shit. None of this weaponized autism bullshit. It's just hunting to be the biggest, baddest motherfucker around. He is in a jungle, and he's hunting this group that reminds us of the 1987 group with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You have the charismatic lead, and you got a couple guys. And they're already in the woods. One guy is dead, and they're scared shitless looking all around. And we enter on that with the original Predator. And one of the guys spots the Predator. He's running into the trees. He dives. Keep it in one shot. He jumps, dives, grabs the tree, spins around, and in midair, as he's spinning, he goes from cloaked to uncloaked. He takes the shot, kills one of the guys, and it's this really intense battle that is part, he's revealing himself to test himself with these fighters, trying to find out which is the one he wants to have the one-on-one fight with. He eventually kills all the guys, and again, it's got to be quick and zippy because it's the intro, but it has to feel like it's the 1987 Predator. He finally gets, and this is where I love it, he finally gets to the one-on-one guy who's like our modern-day Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's behind a tree, the Predator. The good guy's coming up like this, and the Predator pulls his wrist blades out. And in the original Predator, they did this really bad mistake where the wrist blades weren't big enough to go around Arnold Schwarzenegger's head. See how real thin they are? So what they did is they modified them to be really wide. And then they just TVs back then were shitty, so you just didn't notice. But then when it was Blu-ray, everyone saw how it was modified. But I don't like little shit like that ruining my 1987 Predator. So in this one, the Predator is going to pull out his blades all the way, but they're going to come out just a little bit more, and it's going to turn into the modified, making that mistake in the past now canon, and his weapon can do that. So he does that, and he gets the guy trapped on a tree. I promise, we're going to end it in a second. Now, keep in mind, that's the whole intro where you got to mirror it like the end of the 1987 Predator. And here's what I'm going to get at. In the end, he mimics the exact thing the Jungle Hunter did in the original Predator. He takes off his shoulder cannon. He takes off his mask the same way, and that's because this is tradition for them. This wasn't something unique and different that the Jungle Hunter did. His tribe, and it keeps it separate from anything that they ruined with the other Predators. It's his own separate tribe. They don't want to have anything to do with any of the other super Predators or any of the other weaponized autism Predators. None of that shit. The big Hulk Predator, none of that bullshit. They're on their own. and he's there. He takes off his shoulder cannon, his mask, just like the other one did, and it's that tradition because he's going to have a one-on-one fight. And then we get the most brutal, but still, we use the puppet. It looks gorgeous as far as the Predator does, and it's more because of technology and filmmaking now, it's the same sort of fight, one-on-one with no crazy special effects. You're not having the Predator do any jumping crazy, no falling out of a spaceship, none of that bullshit. It's a simple one-on-one fight in the mud, and we get this moment where the good guy finally grabs the Predator's mandible, and he breaks his mandible, and the Predator screams, and that's when, and it has to be quick, because you want to think this might be the good guy defeating, much like Dutch did, this Predator, and then going on to help the team or something. He snaps the Predator's mandible, and then within a moment, the Predator just loses his shit, rages out, breaks his arm, spins him around. The guy drops to his knees, and it has to happen quick, so the audience is just like, oh my fucking God. He's got to grab him. Now he's standing behind him. He's got to reach around his head, drive his fingers into his eyeballs. The guy's screaming like some Game of Thrones shit where he squeezed the guy's eyeballs out, and he just rips his head off that way. Spine, guts, and all. You have it from the front when you're filming it. The fingers go in the eyeballs. The side, you cut it to the side. You get the guy and how horrific it is. He's screaming like, he's even trying to like pull the Predator's arm. So he pulled the Predator's arm out of his own eyeballs, but it's too late. The Predator, in just this beast motion, rips his head off. His spine comes flying out. Blood and guts and all this other junk, that the cool shit that comes ripping out. And then the Predator does this roar, and that's when he just collects his shit. Because keep in mind, this is going to mirror what the original Predator did. A lot of people are like, why was he playing with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, why did he shoot his gun and not him? And it's like, well, no, that's because the Predator wanted to narrow it down and have this one-on-one. The Predator, he was camouflage. It's too easy. He reveals himself, and then he goes camouflage again because he's playing with them. You know, this is what they live for. This is all they live for. And they don't visit the United States all the time. So he's having fun with these people. He's seeing how they adapt to their different fighting styles, and it's to make them better. So now we see a Predator that did what the Jungle Hunter did, except for this one wins, and he defeats Dutch. And then we see him set up this thing where he puts the skull down and he does this flash thing. I have some sketches and designs, but essentially it'll clean the skull, and then you can show some of the other Predator stuff. And this is cool because he gets his mask back on. He does all this funky shit, but then the Predator just stops, and he kind of does like this head tilt, and he notices something is off. Something is iffy. And that's when we see, again, if I'm being forced to connect it with what the Predator did, that's when the Jungle Hunter Predator looks over and looks over because he senses something ain't right. And then we finally see one of the modern Predators, like the fugitive Predator, the one with the little one, not the big, we see him, he ducks behind a tree, and instead of turning like camouflage see-through to hide against a human, this is cool, he does a new cloaking mechanism where it's some different crazy shit. Like, let's say some kind of baby blue with like yellow trim or something. And it's a cloak mechanism for other Predators. And it was this Predator specifically because the old classic Predators, they don't have a lot of this other future technology. They don't have the ball that turns you invisible. That way it keeps 1987 Predator and all the other stuff, it keeps it pure in the canon, and it corrects some of the stuff that the old ones destroyed. But then I would have to come up with some other purpose for how would you put the classic Predator, how would you blend him within the storyline? I was thinking about making him a hero Predator. Like, he's here just doing what he wants to do, doing his shit. And then you have the fugitive Predators with the human, and then you get like some of these other enemy Predators, and they're ripping shit up, and they just get in the way of the tribal Predator. Now keep in mind, the tribal Predator, he doesn't want to be a part of any of this invasion shit. They have their traditions. They're like old Native Americans. Just stay out of my territory and then there won't be no beef. But then all of a sudden they get in his territory, and that's where we see the jungle hunter just fuck shit up, man. And he has to live. The the new jungle hunter predator, he has to live. The one in the beginning that kills that guy, he ends up not siding with the humans, but fighting some of the other evil predators. Man, I want to make that movie, or at least write that script. I don't know. I really do think Ronnie could turn the damn Walking Dead story around for the better. I would love to write a short story for The Walking Dead, just to see. I mean, a lot of you like some of my ideas, so if you like my ideas, maybe I could do like a really cool Walking Dead story. Maybe that could be a spin-off, you know, if it was good enough, like a comic. Get somebody to draw it, or or some short story. If it was good enough, maybe AMC can do it for a webisode. Wait. Am I going to do a video on 3 Billboards? I love that movie. I love that movie a lot. Right up until the end, I got pissed. I still don't know how I feel about the ending. Because it set itself up for something, and then it just like, yeah, we don't know where to go. I know, it's not, you know, I don't know how I feel about that ending. You guys like that Predator though? Especially like ripping that head off. Oh my god, that would be... Trust me, and the way I'm envisioning it, oh my god, it would be friggin' epic. I want to get some... But that's what I want to get into. I would love to... Like, I don't want to be like a movie star. I want to be the guy behind the scenes coming up with, like a producer or something. Producer, director. I would love to do some of that shit where I could come up with a story idea and maybe I have a team, like, flesh the story out. Or maybe I can work on a script that someone else did but kind of polish it up a little bit. And I feel real confident in shit like that. And at first I was just going to do my own thing, but I'm getting more and more frustrated with what we get with Hollywood. I'm really starting to think like, man, like I want to do that. And I think the only way, because right now just saying it, you're essentially a nobody saying, I want to do something that, you know, Hollywood. I want to do something that they do. But I think if the comic is successful, I'm the sole writer on that. So if the comic is successful and people see that, oh, it's one writer, maybe he's got, you know, something else good up his sleeve. And then if I did the short story spin-off of the comic, which would be a novel format, it would show that I can handle that format and tell an additional story. And then if I did a couple scripts, and it's hard to... Here's the thing is, you don't need to write a script. If anyone's getting into screenwriting, you don't need to write a script in order for... I'm sorry, you don't need to write a script that's going to get picked up and sold. Like, I don't have to write a Walking Dead script and expect AMC to make it, you know? Whether it's a webisode or whether it's whatever. That's not it. There's tons and tons and tons of stories of screenwriters who wrote a script, the people liked it, but didn't want to buy it, and then either bought something else off of them, or they liked their style and they brought them on to do something different. And that's all I need. Like, all I need is like that one chance to be like, and that's how confident I am. Maybe that's not all I need. That's all I feel I need. I would love to sit there, like, creatively. That's all I live for, is coming up with different ideas to save franchises, or how I would write a movie better or a scene better. Like, I get high off of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the only thing where you put me in a room, it's the only thing I'll never get sick of, is figuring out how to make scenes and stories better. So if I do the comic in different spec scripts, if I do the script for a Jason reboot, as long as I could get it out there into the right places, maybe that could be a good start. I don't know. So, Ronnie, which episode do you think will be Rick's last? It's going to be episode 5. I'm buying tickets for. I think it's episode 5, uh, the actual episode, and then there's going to be a 6th episode where he might have a cameo. It's a little ridiculous that Morgan was going to sacrifice himself without telling the others the location, and even if Martha was listening, then he could have went before he went. Yeah, there's a lot of Fear the Walking Dead that gets ridiculous. Like, the girl escaped even though they were surrounded by zombies. And it's not like she just escaped. Did anyone catch that? She stayed close enough to hear the fucking recipe. What? She wrote the recipe on his face. So she stayed close enough to hear the recipe and then was able to sneak off right after? What? Ronnie, are you caught up with Telltale The Walking Dead games? No. I'd love to see you stream a couple episodes, maybe 2. I'll do the whole season, whatever they have released. Let's get through some of the stuff I've got going on, and then we'll just get through the whole season. I tell you what, though, I'm not looking forward to it. I thought they did major upgrades after season 1. I think I played a little of season 2. I played all of season 1, and I recently just saw a video clip of episode 2 of season 4. And now it's clear as day why they went out of business. As much as, even in that clip, it was like a 20-minute clip. And I had to see it because they spoiled it in a fucking promo that the Whisperers were going to be in it. They had that image. They shared it all over online. And I'm like, you're idiots. You are idiots. Wow. That's how you know a company doesn't give a shit about their story. The company, not the people writing the story. And they just want money because they're like, oh, fans like this, let's throw it out there, even though. And I did watch that, but I saw the gameplay and I was like, it doesn't look any buffed at all. I mean, the choices are different. The type of gameplay is different, but the actual mechanics, it looks just like it on a PS3. It still looks clunky. It still has its, problems, but there's aspects of it that I do enjoy. I love the art style in Telltale. I love it a lot. I think number one is the story. Number one, usually. Not all, there's some parts of the story I downright hate, but the story comes first, the art style second. Actual gameplay, and I think this is why I always put it on the back burner, because I'm not a fan of the gameplay. The gameplay itself is absolutely dreadful, but the other stuff I really enjoy. Like just the visuals and story alone, usually I like those way more than the gameplay, enough so I'm a fan of it in that way. Billboards was really good. That's one with Woody Harrelson, right? Yeah. Where's the Pure Leaf? I didn't get it. I made homemade iced tea. I just reused the bottle. I don't know why. I've already bought tickets for the premiere. Fuck yeah. You might want to look into it a little bit, to be honest. The premiere. Ronnie, are you based in LA? You should get into it. No, one year I was going to drive out to LA. I was just going to say fuck it and drive out. And this was way before YouTube was even a thing. I think this was in like 2004. I had everything all set. I had a little apartment, and I was saving up money, and I was just going to go to the West Coast. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. But I was going to say fuck it and do it, which was tricky. I mean, I don't know. I always had the desire to go, but I only wanted to do the stuff behind the scenes. Like I never had any interest, even though I took acting classes and I did roles, and I have no problem in doing acting roles. There's a few times where I had a shitload of fun in some, and it's all independent crap. It's a lot of college stuff, and I wasn't in college, but a lot of college classes or courses will do shorts, and they'll cast people for shorts and shit like that. So I've done stuff and plays and even had fun doing that. And I do enjoy, a majority of actors are fucked in so many different ways, and I have so much fun, or I used to have so much fun with that. But my passion is, like I said, behind the scenes, coming up with the ideas, even just being on set and working out, blocking which way the camera's going to go or how you want to film. I'm sure on a big set it's way different, but in a smaller set it's so easy to just be a part of all of that. Yeah, but my favorite thing is coming up with the creations, the creative stuff. Ronnie, that would be a dope Predator movie idea you have. Thank you very much. I would love to do. Oh man, I would love to do something. I might just write like a spec script. Love Doomsday Kingdom. I want it to be a TV show directed by Ronnie, etc. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That would be awesome. Thomas Jane as Rick Grimes? No, we already have one Rick. How cool would it be if the Walking Dead Rick's gone and just randomly they find this guy and they ask him his name and it's his brother from Alien comic and the reaction? Yeah, but that's another tricky one because we don't know if AMC even has the rights. Because even though that's a spin-off, it's not... I don't know how that works, to be honest. I mean, it could happen. You never know, but... Tom said, yeah, Ronnie, but my dad will probably tell you what he told me. You're too old to have dreams, get a real job. Yeah, that's another thing. I heard that so much. I kind of regret even listening because there was, for a while there, I did listen to people that said that. Like, I come from an area that... yeah, anyone who thinks of a job outside of the standard what everyone does in that neighborhood 9 to 5 job, it's all like dreaming, you'll never do it. There's so many, and a lot of them do have your best interests at heart. A lot of them do, like, they can't picture anything bigger, but it is really just crabs in a bucket. You ever see crabs in a bucket? They're all they're not escaping, they're all pulling each other down. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to dodge that. Hey, Ronnie, what do you think it takes for something in the zombie genre to do well? Like, it always seems like repeated trends. Love your vids, by the way. Keep up the awesome work. The number one thing is, it feels like a lot of people making zombie stuff are saying, okay, what did well before us? And this is common in Hollywood, and it's open. It's not a secret. Hollywood has this thing where they say, what worked? Let's copy that. And that's why I say with Fear the Walking Dead, it finally hit me. And I couldn't believe they would do this, but the reason why we see almost everything they do is stuff we've already seen in the comic or the books or the game. It's not that they're out of ideas. If they were out of ideas, I wouldn't have, 120 some comics outlined in the zombie universe, and there's so many that are different. Now, given, I will admit, some of them have to line up because it's zombies. You can't do a vampire show and have it completely different from any other vampire show. You need the essentials, the basics of what a vampire is. Same thing with a zombie. Same thing with outbreaks. With chaos, you're going to have a lot. With people stealing your food or with people scavenging, you're going to have a lot of similarities, but there's still a ton of different stuff, and we don't see the different stuff because Hollywood has this disease, this creative disease, where they look for the safety net. They don't take risks. They look for the safety net in what succeeded before me. Let me do that with a different... You're essentially dating the same girl, just with a different dress. That's it. She just changed her dress. Last year in the box office, she had a black dress. This year, she has a red dress. Next year, she's going to have the blue dress. But it's the same bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Hollywood does. And that's a metaphor. So, yeah. Or, I'm exhausted. You know what I mean, though. Ronnie, would you ever consider a map fan meetup? Absolutely. Yo, I was thinking about saying, listen, guys, I'm going to this cinema to see The Predator. If anyone's in Raleigh, show up. We could sit down and watch The Predator together, but I have this fear of getting shot in a movie theater, so I'm not doing it. But I thought about it. If AMC, The Walking Dead, had more competition, would it have suffered as much as it has? If AMC's The Walking Dead had more competition, would it have suffered as much as... you can have whatever competition you want. Your story needs to be on and popping. You know, hey Ronnie, do you ever plan to write for the screen? You're super talented, man. Love to channel. I always wanted to just write for Map, like my not Map now, but Map in 2020, let's say. If I had plans to do shorts, I always wanted to just do that, do our own little production company instead of everything. Doesn't have to be the big blockbusters. It doesn't have to be Hollywood. Years ago it did, but nowadays with YouTube and with other avenues, you could create a production company that is outside of Hollywood, and it's there. It's like uncharted waters right now. It's there, it's open, and it can be done. I don't want to get into everything, but there's some things that people are just not capitalizing yet. And I was thinking about trying that with Map, starting off super slow with like small shorts, and even the channel itself is everything we do on the channel, even if it's not related to original shorts and movies and whatever. But the idea is by the time I'm 80, maybe we have a company where we have movies that are budgeted like $5 million or $10 million, and it's super tiny compared to Hollywood, but you can still make incredible movies even with that low of a budget. It can be done. So I always thought of just trying to build it up and do Map. But I have been thinking, like, I don't give a shit if I get the credit. If you guys just talk about me, not you guys, but if, let's say I'm writing screenplays and let's say they like them, you don't even got to put my name on it. Just pay me. I don't give a shit. Just pay me, because my plan is I'll just put the money back in the Map. You know what I'm saying? So just pay me for it. You could put your friend's name on the script and then tell everyone, on the down low, go see Ronnie Hayes for a script. No one has to talk about me at all. Just pay me for the script, and I guarantee I'll give you some fire. But you can't let the studio touch it, because I'm gonna give you some risky shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, even with as much of the rated R as the Predator, I don't think they would ever do what I just said. They would never, and it would be close up, and it would be bloody, gory, vicious, because it's a Predator on human. And you might be saying, Ronnie, they had humans get ripped apart in the Predator. Yes, that is true, but it is completely different if you look at how. It's so CGI bloody, it's almost silly. It's not even gory. It's like you popped a balloon full of Kool-Aid silly. I would do like the realistic, gory spine and all this brutal shit. Take the Predator back to what it was, and I don't think that's the direction they're going. I think they want to keep it silly, rated R, gory, but incorporate more of the Marvel style with the Predator armor and all that. Yeah. Someone said, wait, what? Any death predictions for issue 200? Yeah, I don't know. This gets tricky. I don't remember them putting deaths in issues like that except for just 100, 50 didn't have a death, 100 had a death, 150 didn't have a death. It was just big things going on. So I don't know if they're going to have a death. I think it's just going to be a big, important piece of the story. 100, they did that. They might do that for 200, but how many more seasons do you believe AMC can push out The Walking Dead, and what's your prediction for the season 9 finale? I'll have a video up for the season 9. We're about to end this. I've, as usual, ran my mouth forever, but with a death prediction, I'm sorry. I am so tired. I'm like seeing blurry vision. I just noticed it's 2 a.m. and I gotta get to bed, yo. How many seasons? The original show, let's say 5 more seasons or less. And Fear the Walking Dead, I'd say about 3 seasons. But I do think that AMC is going to have easily another 10 years, like they said, if they don't sell it, And the ideal time to sell it isn't when it drops. I see a lot of people saying that they're just going to wait till it goes under and then they're going to sell it. And that would just be absolutely silly. You would wait until you can see that creatively you don't think you can keep this boat afloat, but it's still pretty hot. Or you would do something to get the franchise a little bit hotter, and then you would sell, because then you get more money. If the franchise is close to dead, you're not going to get top dollar for it. But if the franchise is like on and popping, yeah, that's a come up. I like the idea, Ronnie. Keep it up on map. No one can say that indie companies haven't had epic stuff come out. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do it, but the tricky part is, well, one thing I would love is to have a lot of the videos or some of the videos on the channel shift over to um, like a documentary on building up a production company. I think that would be so awesome. But a lot of that you need the finances in order to make that entertaining. You need connections. You need this. You need that. So it's in the beginning, it's going to be real slow. But I do need to just sit down and figure out what specifically I want to do and then just go for that, because I do teeter around. If I wanted to do scripts, I could have just jumped into that. But I do teeter around with doing scripts and then kind of not really doing anything with them. But I got to just jump into it. Will you be reviewing Brawl and Cell Block 99? Probably not. Maybe we'll talk about it down the line on the channel. But I wasn't blown away with that. I love Bone Tomahawk. I think Cell Block 99 it's a fun movie that reminded me of the 80s movies with the gore and stuff like that, and it even had that vibe to it, but that was a little bit silly. You should also check out Brian's Paulin's Movies, man. True obscure low budget gore horror. I'll check that out. So is Rick gonna die in episode 5 or 6? I'm buying tickets to a viewing of any episode when it premieres. I think he's dead in 5. Almost positive. Do you think Kirkman hit the brakes a little on the comic story to make sure something epic does land on issue 200? I don't know what it's like for Kirkman when he's writing the issue, but I would know. Like right now, I know where we're only putting out issue 3. Right now, I know what's going to happen in issue 100 for Doomsday Kingdom. Now, keep in mind, I had the luxury of writing this story over 10 years ago. Like, that's not just a cool background, like a cool backstory I made up. Like, I legit wrote it in high school, or even before high school. It was when Resident Evil 1 came out. And I remember the first script was so bad. It was like an underground lab, but it was them escaping one tunnel. How stupid was that? Anyway, so I know where they're going to get in issue 50. Well, 30 specifically, 50, and then 100. Some of the other ones are a little mix and match. It all depends on the pacing. But I think Kirkman knows ahead of time where, like, for me, it'll be like, if you had storyline A, B, and C, I would know the B storyline took place in issue 100. But I wouldn't know the finer details, like all the dialogue, specifically the panels, the scenes. I think it's like that for Kirkman too as well. I would imagine for a lot of other writers, they have a good idea unless they outline some scenes. I'll think of something awesome and I'll write it in full detail, and I know that scene isn't, like, I know a scene for one of Tristan's cousins that they're not even going to be around until like issue 40, the 40s and 50s. And I already have their intro, their origin. I have one of the scenes that breaks them. I got so much planned out for them. And it's just because the ideas come, but I can't use it till later on. It's probably just the same way. Any advice for a fellow The Walking Dead YouTuber? Just do daily Walking Dead content. You'll rise up. It ain't nothing to it. You got to have good audio, though. That's the key thing. Good audio. And don't do any face cams. It seems like it's more and more is the thing to... I don't know if it's always been like this or recently, but no face cams. Use images from the thing. And again, that's to keep the views coming in, because people who look for Walking Dead videos but don't really subscribe to channels, that's how you get the high views, is because they love those kind of videos. Those videos do better. I've seen channels with almost no subscribers just put up like a catchy title, and it's just images, and they're constantly getting, they have 200 subscribers but they're getting 100,000 views all the friggin' time. Just wait. Sometimes there are titles I would never use because it's just straight clickbait. They'll just be like, Rick is returning in season 9, confirmed, and it's like, to direct, bro. Just as an example. But yeah, every day, clear mic and no face cam. At least not at first. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to shut this down, though, because I do got to get some sleep, man. You're the shit, Ronnie. Thank you very much. As long as someone thinks I'm shit, I'll have a happy day. Ronnie, you're awesome. Love the channel. Would love to see The Walking Dead on HBO or Netflix. That would be great. I would love to see it just out of curiosity. What would it look like? Ronnie, where do you stand on the classic universe? 5 or 10 years? Other than that, I'm good. Next time you're live streaming this late, at least have the cleavage on, prude. I'll try. Ever think that all this hype over Rick's departure is AMC's elaborate way of avoiding major spoilers being released? I don't know how that would even sync up. Yeah, I don't even know how that would sync up. The spoilers will get out regardless. There's nothing AMC can do. At this point, there's nothing AMC can do, and there's nothing they want to do. Especially when it comes to the screeners. Like when they send out an episode to get screened for captions or to get screened for ratings, all that other shit. The whole script gets leaked of the episode, and they can't stop that. So tricking that Rick is going to leave isn't going to do anything for spoilers. And I don't think they would trick that he's going to leave and then keep him on. That would just be like franchise suicide for your fan base, man. That's one thing I can see breaking the fan base. If he's got to leave, it needs to be at least for a whole season, and then you can bring him back in some different way. Fans will be cool with that. But if you gear up the whole season's the end, like I said before, it's just a negativity that just rots the core of what fans enjoy, and they'll move on to something else. But yeah, I do got to get some sleep. Thanks for hanging out with me for a lot longer than I thought. I always do that, though. I'm like, let's talk for 30 minutes. 10 days later, it's like, oh, I got to go. But yeah, sorry we couldn't get the issue out yesterday. Hopefully we'll get out today. That's about it. Halloween's coming up. I love Halloween. That would be my heaven. If I could have fall all year round, that would be my heaven. I do want to do something cool for Halloween, though. You guys let me know what you want. I might be recording some type of video for my daughter's channel, but you guys let me know if you have any suggestions. I'd like to do something cool for Halloween. Maybe review some horror movies or something. I don't know. But thanks for coming out. I appreciate everyone who helps with the channel, Patreon, and the Super Chat support. It really does help the state of YouTube right now, and probably now and forever with the way things are looking. But stay tuned, man. I would love to do some type of crowdfunding in like 2019 for a little, like a little short. I'd release the script early, though. Like, here's the script, guys. I just wouldn't release the ending. And then if they liked a majority of the script, I would, hey, can we actually bring on... it would be like a independent horror movie of some type. Can we actually bring on some good cast and crew and get it done? I think that would be freaking awesome. All right. Love you guys. Have a good night.